Right, we're gonna look at some hardy palm trees today, little baby ones, very small seedlings, which I'm gonna grow on for a few years and get into the garden at some point, whether we have a really bad winter and we lose a few of the more tender palms or plants. Whenever there's a space gonna open up, we've got something in the background ready to go as well. So old time viewers will remember I've had a DIY greenhouse here, about 10 by 6. Took that down this year. That's all filling out nicely, but I've always had this little greenhouse sort of tucked down the side here, and this is where I'm just keeping all my little palm seedlings. Right, so quite a few different varieties. Let's start with the ones I grew myself from seed. So we've got some Sabal palmettos here, and these are, I lose track of time to be honest, it could be second or third summer. They seem to be doing okay. I've just up potted these this year to keep them going. I've got a couple of bigger ones. I've just moved them out because they were getting a bit big, but I mean some of these are already starting to get the split leaves on them, so they're coming along nicely. So there's Sabal palmettos. I've got some couple of Sabal minor. Some are doing better than others. I did lose a batch of these. I underwatered them for a while and they just didn't come back, so that's my fault. This one is one of the lone survivors. You can see where they're dried out and started watering again, and they're sort of coming back now, but they should, after 2 or 3 years, really be looking more like this. There, so there's Sabal minor. Got a couple of Brahea almata. Again, these were done at the same time as the sabals, and again I sort of almost lost these. I let them dry out too much. Really free drain and mix, and yeah, unless you water, especially when it's hot, you need to water these every day because they do dry out. So yeah, I've just tidied these up. They had quite a few brown leaves on them, so I've just tidied them up, and hopefully we can get them back on track. This is not a palm. This type of palm grass. It's not not the one I've got in the garden. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Soteria palmifolia. It's not that one. This is the other one with the furrier underside. That's just grown from a rhizome that I got from Himalayan Gardens this year. I tried it last year, it didn't. It started growing and died off, but this year this one's doing really well. So yeah, it just came as like literally a cut bit of root and rhizome, and that has grown out slow but sure. So in a year or two that'll be a nice big plant to grow out in the garden. So what else we got at the back here? Manahot, that's not a palm, but that's just in here because that's too small to go out. I didn't want it getting too hot in the hot house. I wanted it to have a, I mean it does get hot in here, but the door's normally open. It's not in full sun, so it's not too bad. I've got a couple of remnants of the Washingtonia folifera that I done again the same time as the sabals and the Brahea almata. These should be a lot bigger than this by now. I haven't up potted them this year, and again I let them dry out, and we can see I haven't tidied these ones up. I brought them back from the brink of death, so I may up pot them and look after them a bit better. This is this soy looking thing. It's a Jabea chilensis. This is the one I had in the ground in my centre bed before I got the bigger Jabea, and I dug this out and it didn't seem to have a lot of roots on it. It's doing well in the ground, but it didn't have a lot of roots when I dug it out. Obviously set it back, so this was dug out last year, and again a lot of the fronds died off. Obviously I did cut some back anyway, but it is starting to make a comeback. We've got some green pushing out here, and there's a new little spear here that's showing up. This side we've got some variants on some sabals. This one is Sabal mexicana, which I've got one planted in the garden this year, very sort of a light blue. This one is Bermondana, which is more of a sort of darker bluey green, and I think that's the same, Bermondana. Let's get this out the way so we can have a look at some of the Trachycarpus at the back here. I hear sirens, don't know what's going on. So we've got a couple of little Trachycarpus Fortunae crossed princeps. Nothing unusual about them, just a couple of little cheapies I bought, just going to grow on. We've got Trachycarpus eucalensis. Oh, pot is on its way out, so we can see this. This is quite an interesting Trachycarpus. I mean, even at this small stage, we can see it's really furry around the petioles and what will be the trunk. Really sort of distinctive. It's quite easy to, even at this small size, to distinguish from most Trachycarpus. So that's one to grow on. We have got a couple of Latisectus. So again, this is one I grew from seed myself, and I did, before I had that seed germinate, I did buy a small one. So that's a Latisectus, and this is one grown from seed shortly after, but this is start actually getting a little bit of a trunk on it. This is a Trachycarpus to keel. Again, that has actually got quite a hairy petiole on that, which is very unlike the other tequila I've got, so I don't know, we'll see on that one. At the back here, so these are bought from very small plants. This is a couple of butia yete. So this is one I bought probably a couple of years ago, and it really, I don't know, struggled for a little while, and I thought it's on its way out, I thought it's going to die, so I bought another one because these were pretty cheap off eBay. And this one has since made a comeback, so we see we've got some nice new growth there, pushing out 3 leaves at once. But the other butia yete I bought is doing better. This is actually a double, there's 2 in the pot, one slightly smaller, which is now starting to go pinnate. Last but not least, for some of the more sort of unusual cold hardy palms to grow in the UK, I did buy a couple. I mean, normally I buy these off eBay, off No Neck on eBay, as you probably all know. Very good selection of palms and tropical plants. But these actually I got from Facebook, sort of a private seller. And we've got a couple of unusual sabals. And these are still very small. These are literally sort of 2-leaf seedlings. You can see it's got some nice colour on it already. And so this is Sabal Defanier Springs. To be honest, I can't really read the writing that well, but it's I don't know, it's supposed to be an interesting one, so we're going to give that a go. And we've got some Livingstoner Maria, which is sort of the red-leafed Livingstoner. We've got a couple of them as well. I think these were literally £4 or £5 each. And yeah, I mean, I've grown some palms from seed before, and it can be a frustrating game, but again, it can be very rewarding. But it's always good to other people are trying it and they try some different species that maybe you can't get the seed yourself or haven't tried yourself. But yeah, we can see there's already some red coming in them already, so I will pop these up before winter comes, maybe next month. Yeah, so that is my little DIY greenhouse, literally made from really thin, it's perspex, but just offcuts I had from work. And yeah, just a wooden frame. Had this for many years. Ideal for a small collection like this of unusual cold hardy palms. Yeah, so that is the next generation of plants which will go in the garden if and when we have a bad winter and takes out some of my other more unusual, not so cold hardy palms. Let's put that back up there. I'm hoping that's going to make a comeback in the next year or two, that Gibrea. Right, so here's something a little bit different for you. Cold hardy palms that maybe you haven't tried or considering trying. You know, there's always a lot of these things available on eBay as little seedlings, and they do grow. Give them a couple of years, they'll be ready to go in the ground, and something a bit different. Right, let's leave it there. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.